Hi, everyone. Well, welcome to another personal share, the ups and downs of waking up and waking down, aka waking up and the integration and embodiment of those realizations that you have. So, good news, something has shifted, and it's really wonderful. But before I get into that, I just want to say, if you watched my God is Dead video, and maybe we're a little bummed out and didn't make it to part 3, I just want to reiterate that this God is dead feeling when you enter into no self awareness is simply the realization that all those previous blissful experiences that you have in meditation or in dream, all those wonderful lovey-dovey blissful phenomena of God or source or awareness, whatever you want to call it, your higher self, was all created by your higher self. And that the experience of God or pure being, pure awareness, is something completely different. It is void of feeling and experiences. It's wonderful, but it takes the ego and the body adjusting, and it feels as if God is dead because pure being is a totally different experience. The experiencer is basically gone. And you're just left with silence or the background stillness. So this can be quite shocking. So God is not dead. It's just our personal experiences of God that seem to diminish during that integration, during that phase in that Brahman awakening. So a lot has shifted. I don't know exactly where I want to begin. So let me just say here, look at my notes. What I do want to say is I know it has been like, if you've been following, it's an up and down. It's been an up and down roller coaster. It's been incredible highs and incredible lows. And, you forget when you're in the midst of all of this integration, you forget that at every stage of awakening, there is what Adyashanti calls the I got it, I lost it stage. Everybody calls it the I got it, I lost it stage. And you forget this, but it's that roller coaster time, ups and downs, and you start beating yourself up and you forget that it's the I got it, I lost it stage. If you want to read more about that, Adyashanti wrote a book called The End of Your World that really spells it out very cleanly. He's a very good writer, a clean writer, easy to read. So during this stage, the cat wants to jump up. Let me put it on pause. Well, that was a long pause to break up a cat fight. It's so frustrating. So let me see if I can gather my thoughts because my blood is boiling just a little bit. So what I realized in the last couple of weeks is that during those I got it, I lost it phase, I realized for myself personally that even though I had deeply realized no one is here, realized the true nature of, I don't want to say reality, I guess God, reality, the true nature of the stillness, silence, totally realized that to the point where there'd be no going back to thinking or believing that there's a you, me here, a you there and a me here. No one is here. Fully realized that. But what I hadn't fully realized is what I was. Like hadn't had the physical realization of me being silence, awareness, pure awareness. So there was, you're stuck in a middle, the tunnel or the passageway, as Bernadette Robert calls it. It's the I got it, I lost it. I know what I'm not. I know that I'm not a you. There's no person here, no me, individual me here. I'm pure awareness. I know that 100%, but I haven't yet fully realized what I am, and I don't feel. I haven't physically embodied that. So that you're stuck in limbo. This is a very difficult stage. And at each stage of awakening, if you go through a linear process, like I seem to be linear, you know what I mean, step-by-step process, like I am doing apparently, then you're going to go through this. You're going to realize, oh, I'm pure consciousness, or I'm not a separate individual, but you haven't yet fully embodied being consciousness. And then you wake to pure awareness. Oh, I realize nobody's here, but I haven't yet fully embodied and realized that I'm pure awareness, silence, okay? And so that's very difficult. And I saw, and during this period of I got it, I lost it, it's a shock to the system. And it does, in the beginning, it blows out ego. It blows out the you. But because you're not yet fully re-identified or identified as your true self, pure being, the ego during these I got it, I lost it times starts to restructure itself and reattach itself. And because, you're not fully centered over here, you get hooked again, and then you unhook yourself. So ego keeps coming back, and then you detach, and it comes back and detach, and slowly and surely it starts working its way apart. But it's a real grueling period. And to your friends and family, you would appear to be totally unstable, and you are, because you haven't yet stabilized in pure being. So all my friends and family out there, sorry, I'm totally unstable, but I am now less unstable, I think. Let's hope. Also, and I stumbled across an interview by Sarah Taylor. I think I'll put a link. It's a very clear, very simple, easy to listen to interview, and she talks about her I got it and lost it phase. She also talks about that those of us who have had more traumatizing childhoods, first 21 years of life, where there's trauma, there's a sense of not feeling safe, a sense of not being nurtured, all that sort of stuff will also affect this I got it, I lost it phase. Because the more traumatized you are, the more memory chips, memory bubbles that our cells are holding on to, emotions and then thought patterns that are attached with those emotions. They're really deeply embedded, particularly if you were in survival state in early years of life. So they're really deep, and those things, come out, and we really go through a tough time. You think you're probably losing it. One day you're high, the next day you're angry and sad or guilt, whatever. Everything comes up, and you are on a roller coaster. So my point in saying all this is some people may have an easier time. The cat is, I'm telling you, I don't know every time I go to make these videos, the cats start acting up. And if she knocks that over, hold on, Toby, stop. Sorry, you guys. I hope I'm coherent in this video. What was I saying? So some people will appear to have and will have a much easier time depending on how much trauma that they had growing up. Also, here's another realization that I had. I apparently was premature, I think about a month or so. And if you have a premature birth, this will also add to the difficulty in, number one, just being on the spiritual journey, but then integrating all of these awakenings. Because what I found out is you haven't fully, obviously you want to stay in the mother's womb, the nurturing womb, for as long as possible. Hopefully it's a good womb to be in, a good room, safe and nurturing womb. But that if we're taken out very early, then we have our heart and our lungs and the central nervous system has yet to be fully completely maturated. So we have a very sensitive system, not only emotionally, but physically. So all of these new energies compounded with a traumatic childhood can make the integration aspect of awakenings very difficult. So don't beat yourself up. Just be aware that it's really, you have to take care of your nervous system and try not to, like I've been guided not to have caffeine anymore, because my nervous system simply cannot handle it. And I also have AFib, and I have irregular heartbeat, and I have a weak heart, and that's all from premature. But you add this with incoming energies and shocks to the system from awakening. This is quite a bit for the system. So just keep that in mind. If you're having a difficult time, it's okay. Just be very gentle with your nervous system, and I would say probably don't do too many mind-altering substances. Anyway, be gentle on yourself. So, what else do I want to share? So during this time, ego is trying to reconstruct. Let me see, I'm sorry. Anyway, let's move on. What shifted? I don't really know. All I can say is it's been about 2 weeks, and I was sitting here and I was looking into the living room, and all I know was there was a before and an after. There was this before moment that I can see very clearly in my memory what I was doing. I was staring, I was looking, and I felt something come over me. And then the next thing I know, something had shifted. And I don't know what it is. I've heard in many interviews people say that these are the types of shifts that really shift you because they happen outside of time, outside of memory, and they're really kind of solid. And I think I agree. Something shifted, and what I can say it feels like, or what I've been sensing, feeling, is that silence is, it's not descending, it's integrating, it's coming in. It's like pure being, my true self, is now, has been integrating physically into my body. Now that may not be actually what is happening, but it's what it feels like. So after that shift, a couple of days went by, and then I knew something had changed. And then I woke up a couple days later, and it was as if, and I'm calling it silence because that's exactly what it wanted to be called. There was no other word. Silence was like right here next to me. I could feel it physically. And, right. And during, the original shift, all I could describe to my friend was, I said, it was like something, and I did this motion, something came together. Okay. I don't know what happened, but something came together. So then a couple days later, suddenly all I could feel was like silence right here on top of me, on top of my face, close to my body. And I was telling my friend, I said, it feels like an old friend is here waiting, just waiting to come in for me to let it in. And during that time, you know how your thoughts feel very up here, even though maybe busy thoughts, but they kind of feel outside of your head. My thoughts were like right here and going crazy. And yet the silence was right here, just laying on top of me, waiting. And so this was kind of I think a choice moment. This is where the one choice that we have. Do we stay in resistance? Because all of that other stuff before was all me, this me, ego, in total resistance to whatever was happening. And for some reason, this time, I just said, like, enough. I'm not going to resist. And I've been sitting and welcoming and asking, inviting the silence in, and just totally surrendering and becoming this silence. And wouldn't you know, progressively every day, every couple of days, it's so weird. The silence has been moving into my body. It's no longer on top of me. I know this sounds so weird, but it's been integrating into my head, coming deeper into me and moving. And I feel different. It doesn't mean I don't have reactions, but there's a different quality. Something's different. So what is my point in telling you this? Just sharing. Shifts happen, letting you know shifts happen. And when it's like the most subtlest shifts are the most profound. And I don't know. I did reach a point. So silence is entering in. We'll see how long that lasts. But something has definitely shifted. So I think integration, embodiment, or waking down, as some call it, is taking place. My strength of will, divine will, is becoming stronger. There is less desire to follow the thought streams. I don't attach to them much anymore. I feel there's a strength here. There's a silence here. There's a stability that's entering in. And also, when I did have, something happened, I can't remember, and it was really bumming me out. Oh, yeah, there's definitely still some straggling ego things that I'm working on, letting go of. But I got to the point where, after some silence had integrated in, I just looked at this stuff and I said, I'm so sick of myself. I am so sick of myself and this resistance and this stupid game. Oh, and that's another thing. I remember I was sitting outside. I have a shed that I've decked out for a couple of kitty cats to sleep out there. And I was out there just resting away from all this television, computers, the other cats. I have a couple of cats. remember just sitting in that shed, just totally immersed in silence. And I could see I was dreaming. I totally felt and now have the sensation that all of this is a dream. I can feel myself as pure being watching what's going on, watching this vessel dreaming. So that's kind of interesting. Anyway, I got so sick of myself and I really began in earnest. I said, enough is enough. Enough messing around, you know what I wanted to say, in all this mind game. Enough with the mind. I'm so sick of the mind. And I think that this is a result. When silence enters, man, you cannot deal with the mind anymore, right? And I just felt this determination come over me that it's now time to work fully in the heart, to reawaken my heart. It's been closed for so long and so tightly that it's time to reawaken the heart and really awaken it to something more cosmic than this human love that we know, right? And so I just started. I started with focusing, asking for help, and I just started with just one thing. If you're looking to open your heart, just start with one thing that is heart-centered. And it's so weird for me to be talking about heart and love because I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear it. Don't talk to me about the heart, because my path has been I think they call it the Yanni or Nani path, which is the path of knowledge. And we all come at the spiritual journey from different centers. Some are more heart-centered. They start off that way, and they're more bhakti, devotional, blissful, all those wonderful feelings, and they awaken in that realm. While some of us go the knowledge route. But eventually, they have to come together. So it's time for me to work in the heart. And I didn't really want to. I thought, oh, I'll never do this because I'm like so closed off. But I just thought, just one thing a day. If that's all you can handle, maybe it's just sitting for a couple of seconds and looking at things through the heart. Speaking through the heart, asking questions of the sage through the heart, asking the helpers through the heart. And my God, it's amazing the response that life, excuse me, I had no intentions of getting emotional, but the response from life, from the field, has been incredible. You know, I was saying, just do one thing. So I just did one thing. And I thought, God, got that over with. That's enough. That's enough heart stuff. I'm telling you this to let you know how kind of hardened I am about, the heart, living in the heart, love and all that sort of stuff. And it's really true, that saying that all you need to take is one step toward the divine, and the divine will take 1,000 towards you. That's what happened. Just within a couple of days of just kind of really sincerely asking for help, studying the heart, feeling the heart, speaking from the heart. And sorry if I'm all over the place. I think it was about 3 days ago, I woke up and Everywhere around me, all I see is love. Not the gushy, human, blissful, oh, love. I've experienced that. I experienced that when self-realization, God consciousness, and that unity consciousness stage where you're feeling all connected with everything. Boy, when I entered into that, it was so blissful and overwhelming that it buckled my knees every time. It was so overwhelming to the senses and the nervous system that I couldn't handle it. This is not that type of love feeling. This love, it's like suddenly my eyes have changed. And I looked around and I was like, oh, it's all love. It's all love. And it's like silence love. It has a softness, like the softness of a rose petal. That's how it felt. Everything just felt, oh, it's all love. And it's all love, it's all God, it's all silence. But what it really is, just it is. You're seeing, or I'm seeing, God, I don't know how to explain it. You're just seeing what is. That's all that God really is what is. Do you get me? God is what is. And what is, the verb is about a state of being. What is just pure beingness. Everything is in a state of beingness. So everything is God. Everything is love. Love is. I don't even know what I'm saying. Anyway, so all of this to say, while I'm sure I've got it, I lost it, will probably never end. I mean, I'm sure I'll become more stable. It feels like something more stable is taking hold. All of this to say is, if you're going through this, don't worry. There is a light at the end. There's hope, because I'm like the most suffering of them all. So if something can shift in me, if me, this hardened heart, this resistor of love, of all of it, can have a little crack in their heart, so can you. Anyway, okay. Until next time. See you later. Bye.